What would the original Halo be like if it had squad-based mechanics? What would happen if the UNSC weren't stretched so thin during the Silent Cartographer? Mystery. Intrigue. A beach landing. What could possibly need to be improved about this masterpiece of a level? Especially when you consider this is one of the most memorable levels and moments within Halo CE. With the soundtrack blaring in your ears, you're finally thrown into large-scale combat for the first time in the franchise. Coming straight off the heels of the Truth and Reconciliation, this level paints this UNSC battalion at its full strength. And yet, within 60 seconds, you progress onwards with only 2 Marines, leaving the whole squad behind. But not in this mod.
Okay, let's move out.
No funny dialogue with Foehammer, or trying to stand under the Warthog so it kills you. You are tasked with leading the Marines up the beach, where you walk into your first scripted event. A Banshee tried and failed miserably to pick on a Pelican, but as you approach the crash site, you see that it's littered with jackals. Walking where you should be driving in this level is not made boring at all. The modder makes use of all the available space now added during these driving sections, and in typical Better with Friends fashion, the modder gives you a different option to attack from another angle, whilst the Marines are scripted to push ahead and throw grenades, clearing a pathway. I didn't want to confuse those new to the mod by including this clip in the beach landing, but even back then at the start of the game, the modder does such a great job of filling in empty voids and spaces with Covenant defenses, which also give you opportunities to attack certain fights differently. But despite this person's amazing attention to detail, we haven't even gotten to the juicy stuff yet. The Marines completely blaze a pathway to the entrance to the map room. You'll need to forgive their grenade happy hands as they launch a nuclear strike on the front door. I was dying with laughter as I got team killed at least 3 times here. The first and really only thing that's thrown me off about this mod so far is how this particular scene plays out. Typically the intimidating zealot is staring at you, but this scene is reworked in a bit of a strange way. This modder reworks dialogue placement a lot, so I'm not sure if this was a bug or if this was really intended, but after some dramatic silence and heading back up, my fears were alleviated, because seemingly the whole remainder of the Pillar of Autumn have stacked up on the front doorway, waiting for your command. Pelicans drop off dozens of troops as they walk around the place defending it. Groups of scripted Warthogs drive in pathways around the island. Sergeant Johnson sits and marvels in wonder at the recruits that his school has produced. But the heat gets turned up when we have to defend against a Covenant counterattack. I probably should have predicted what's next, but running in means that you'll get nuclear striked again by your UNSC teammates. So I decided my next course of action would be to swing to the left and see if I could get some shots in from the side. This mod does a great job at intuitively showing you where you should be flanking, but it also keeps you on your toes as you learn that the counterattack is from multiple sides. And yet again, no vehicles will come to save you. You've got to lead the Marines on foot to the next area. Remember this entrance to the interior of the island? Now normally I would just yeet this Warthog into the Covenant like I was playing Burnout 3 Takedown on the original Xbox 360. But if you were looking carefully at the minimap in the last 5 seconds, the Marines have already read my remaining 2 brain cells and are flanking either side of the platform I'm standing on. They push up and take this section pretty damn well. Doing the Hunter battle is so much more fun without the overshield and with a bunch of Marines instead. My Savior complex kicked in and I charged at the Hunters to stop them from having a chance at meleeing the Marines. This fight doesn't scale too well on normal difficulty like what I'm playing on, but I'm pretty sure it's a bunch of fun trying to keep them alive on heroic or legendary. Similar to the other clips I posted of the assault on the control room version of this mod, the indoor sections of this level is where the mod really begins to shine. The troops actually fill up and take all available space, and even though getting rid of the Hunters might seem like a bit of a strange choice, not only does it make more sense that there's more people guarding the objective here, it also stops the carnage of putting 2 Hunters in a small space with UNSC Marines. After hitting the switch to open the map room doors, the player hears the well-known voice line about Bravo 22 getting absolutely pasted, but the Marines here seem pretty relaxed. For a second it might seem a little bit jarring, but it becomes clear as soon as you get back outside. Instead of the squad mysteriously crash landing and dying, they're actually alive and well. The crashed Pelican is moved on top of that giant rock, which you can walk up and collect the rockets and the resources that they were meant to be bringing you anyway. But the Covenant definitely won't make it so easy. They come back for a second pass. Not only has the modder added dropships to make this area actually more of a fight, we get lots more scripted goodness. You can start to pick up some enemies from a distance, but as you make your way down from the large rock, even more UNSC forces start to respond, with some pelicans and some scripted warthogs dropping in to provide you some cover fire. Whilst the warthog strafes up and down the beach providing you cover fire, it gives Foehammer an opportunity to land and collect what remains of Bravo 22. If we think about how the narrative has been changed here, instead of seeing Bravo 22 get destroyed by a mysterious force, we now get to see them fulfill their mission. If you remember in the original dialogue, Cortana says that they were bringing heavy weapons. Considering how ambitious this level sets out to be, I think this actually rounds out the narrative quite well. The narrative change that the modder is selling us is that the UNSC is at its strongest. This is what it would feel like if the UNSC were able to tackle the overwhelming odds. And now, with a full squad in our possession, we push forward against the commanding zealot and bring the force into the facility. The upcoming combat in this first space is totally rewritten and I am all for it. The Marines patiently wait for you, taking a position in the corner on the lower level without making any noise. And I guess one of the first comedic touches of this level is this Metal Gear alert sound as soon as you get spotted. I preemptively started putting some grenades in the doorway to stop us from getting ambushed, giving the Marines a few valuable seconds to take up positions on the top floor. I'm not going to show each of the individual interactions on each floor, but pretty much each one of them has some kind of theme. There's always some surprise. There's always some positions where the Marines will want to take cover. There's always some alterations to which enemies are being used. But some of the squad movements here just begin to look truly cinematic. I mean, just take a look at these. Even if you didn't think it was worth this modder remaking this level, you have to admit, him applying this particular formula that he did for Assault on the Control Room has worked out really well. I have to admit, this one is definitely a little less exciting than the Assault on the Control Room remake this modder has done. But remember that this modder's speciality is rewriting the narrative. They achieve this by using scripting as their tool. And naturally this is so much harder to achieve in a level with this many limitations. But for any Halo CE fan, this is a quintessential mod.